I have a crush on him and I understand he is an anime character, but I get it and I'm into him
Yeah.
for sure. Yeah.
I looked up his height. He's 5'3", which is what
Mhm.
I am.
A short king.
Short
I'm
king.
here for it. I am here for it.
Meet Sara and Samantha.
Two cousins obsessed with exploring the vast pop culture landscape, one recommendation at a time.
In each episode, one clueless cousin shares real-time reactions as they navigate the twists and turns of a pop culture topic selected by the other.
From travel to movies,
Little Debbie's to trashy novels.
get ready to eavesdrop on the candid reactions and dynamic conversations you can only have with family.
This is Foreign and Familiar. Welcome, everyone, to Foreign and Familiar. I'm Sara.
I am Samantha.
I don't know that I've ever said this, Sam, because I know for a fact you've never seen my classroom, because my classroom last year was a closet. Not a closet. That's unkind. It was a nice office. Now I have a legitimate classroom. So I'm going a little bit crazy this year, and here's kind of my reasoning. Number one, I don't have grad school debt anymore. When I first started teaching, I was paying off like my undergrad, and then I went to grad school. For those of you who don't know, for teachers, a lot of the things that are in our classroom, we have to get on our own, right? The school provides the basics. If there is funding to provide other things, then we can get those other things. But for a lot of the decorative parts, I have to get those things on my own or rely on very kind people to help get those. So all that to say, like, if you're paying off any sort of debt, classrooms can be a little sparse. I paid off grad school. I've been out for a while, so don't have to worry about that. And the other thing is, I spend 190 days in this room. I want it to look cute, and I want it to look cute for my students. So before the last school year ended, I kind of thought I might be teaching writing and science. And I got really excited because I wanted to do a space themed classroom. I thought that would be really cool teaching fifth grade, wanted to kind of do something that would work for that age group. I like made all the plans and then found out I wasn't going to be teaching science because of the way our schedule worked. I'm just going to be teaching writing. So I decided to keep the space theme though, which people have questions about, of course. But when we were in Japan, you kind of talked me into keeping it.
Yes, for a couple of different reasons. First of all, you are molding the next generation of minds in America, right?
Yeah.
You are teaching them how to write. You are doing all the things that you're saying, right? You have worked your butt off. You have all your certifications and you're teaching writing. And to me, your classroom is exactly what you're saying, which is your classroom, right? I am such a big proponent in general of things that make a living space or a space where you're spending time so much more comfortable. For me, it's really simple things. Like I will get supermarket flowers all the time. Anytime I go to the supermarket, if it, to me, it's worth the extra, what, $7.99, $8.99, whatever, to just have fresh flowers. It makes a tangible difference. On days like today, where we were just literally being able to have fresh flowers, candles, things like that. That's why they're all there. So
Yeah.
I feel like it's your classroom and do what you want to do. Figure it out how to make it work.
So, yeah, I mean, I at this point am almost done. It's kind of turned into Space meets Taylor Swift in an odd kind of way, but I really love how it looks.
I think you're gonna have to post some pictures up on FoFam Pod on Instagram because people should see your room, all the contact paper and all the work. I will say, to make the connection in case there are any haters, it was a light bulb moment. I said when we were in Japan, A Wrinkle in Time is a science fiction book. So make that the theme of the classroom and you get science and you get writing and it all works together.
I don't know that that'll happen. I don't know that Wrinkle in Time will be part of it, but I appreciate the support.
I have the utmost respect for you because I think that the stuff you're doing is really important. The stuff that I do is, yeah, no, truly. I mean, the stuff that I do is, I'm not changing the world. It's my favorite thing to say about PR is it's PR, not ER, right?
Mm.
And I catch myself that all the time. I'm like, this isn't brain surgery. This isn't, life or death situation. It's how do I say something and when do I say it? And not that can't, I think, especially with some of the way that society and stuff is right now, like, I think you do have to be really careful about some of the things you say or how you express yourself.
Right.
But you are literally teaching the next generation of kids how to do things. And anybody that doesn't like your room theme doesn't have to come into your room. It's not for them.
That's true.
Like you can't sit with us anyway. It's for my students and for me, and deal with it. Deal with it.
Yeah.
So I'm glad that you did it though.
You've been seeing like pictures along the way, before and afters, and I think it looks great.
Yeah, you don't have to justify yourself to anyone. So
No.
I want to see the pictures. Speaking out of this world, we have I would say classic. Today we're going to talk about the Cosmic Brownies.
Yeah, I think that falls into the classic category.
I think is in the lexicon of the classic Little Debbie snack cake. I think that there used to be a regular fudge brownie option with walnuts from Little Debbie.
Mm-hmm.
And I think the Cosmic Brownies, if I'm remembering correctly, and this could be that Mandela effect where it's like, it's Berenstain Bears, but you always thought it was Berenstain Bears. So I could be totally misremembering this. But I think the Cosmic Brownies came out as a seasonal variety. And they're different because they have it wasn't as much like fudge on the top,
mm-hmm.
but they have the little candy coated chocolate pieces in different colors.
Right.
And all of a sudden, I think that those became so popular. I have not seen a regular walnut fudge brownie from Little Debbie's in years. It's
right.
Cosmic Brownies. I think Cosmic Brownies, if I were a betting woman, I would say they replaced the Little Debbie walnut brownies.
Right. I mean, I just looked up the fudge brownies and like I'm finding pictures of them and pictures of the boxes, but I don't know. I can't think of the last time that I saw a box of the fudge brownies.
Right. I mean, and we've talked about this. Little Debbie leans very heavy into the brownie space.
Mm-hmm.
Very heavy. I mean, they do that really, really well, for sure.
They do.
Yeah, I'm looking right now and it says you get 2 boxes of the Cosmic Brownies, 1 box of the fudge brownies, and 1 box of the turtle brownies, which I've never had, for $40 on Amazon. Like that, I'm sorry, that's ridiculous. That's $10 a box. That is $10 a box for Little.
It's probably 6.
Yeah, I think the Cosmic Brownies are probably their most popular ones.
I think so. In college, I remember leaving class, and then I would go over to Slep, where I was working, hit up Common Grounds for a brisk tea and a Cosmic Brownie, but they were like the big individual Cosmic Brownies.
Yeah, those are unicorns that are amazing.
Right.
I know of one 7-Eleven in the city of Chicago that sells them. It just so happened to be one in the building that I lived in, and I would have to actively focus on limiting my large format Cosmic Brownies. That would be the one thing I would say about Cosmic Brownies. Little Debbie, you get about 12 snack cakes, or, sometimes like with the honey buns, you get 6. It's either 6 or 12, right? That's kind of what they do. With the Cosmic Brownie, you get 6 of the brownies, but they put a little line in between the brownie and they try to convince you that it's 2 brownies connected in the center. And they say 6 packs of 2, but those aren't 2 brownies. That's 1 brownie.
Yeah. Yeah. I don't know who they're lying to, but
I don't know who they think like what we're doing. They are a little bit of a smaller portion, I think. What I like about the Cosmic Brownie, because I do love the seasonal brownies, but those have all this icing on it and all that. I think with the Cosmic Brownie, it's just the right amount of sweetness. And like those candy coated bits, I don't think really add much, but they're fun.
They are.
And they named the brownie after them. I mean, that's the only thing that makes them cosmic.
Right. That's literally it. Nothing else is cosmic. It's just we have colored sprinkles.
I will buy a box of Cosmic Brownie. That is one of my top, if not that, I would say if I'm being honest with myself, that's my top purchase from Little Debbie is the Cosmic Brownie variety, whether it's your large format or your boxes. If I'm getting another thing of Little Debbie's, I always also pick up a Cosmic Brownie. It's a really good one. That's a good one for us to chat about.
I would get the large format ones in college. I mean, I can only assume that they were out of Cosmic Brownies because I had eaten all of them. But the backup, when they didn't have the Cosmic Brownies, was just the fudge brownies. Every once in a while, they would have a large format fudge brownie, probably because I had eaten the Cosmic Brownies and they didn't know what to do. So that's the last time I remember eating a fudge brownie.
I do like a fudge brownie. Sorry, we tangented before you finished your sentence.
It's all brownie talk, so.
I do love a fudge brownie. If I saw a large format Little Debbie fudge brownie, the thing with the fudge brownie is, though, the top of that gets up on the wrapper.
Right. It's messy.
I do find it interesting as I'm Googling here that they're making sure that, it comes with English walnuts on it. Like, okay.
Cool. Glad to know.
I mean, they do have it. I just haven't seen one.
Right.
And the product detail says the unofficial snack of road trips and movie nights.
I mean, I wouldn't argue with that.
And then it says with a split down the middle, these portioned treats encourage sharing. We should know they have it all solved out. Like, we're sitting here saying it's all that. No, that's their marketing ploy. Like, we encourage sharing. Like, no, I don't want the other half of your Cosmic Brownie. I want my own 2-pair Cosmic Brownie.
Right. If they were to do some sort of commercial where they're like showing a couple that's like flirting and, oh, they share a Cosmic Brownie, that's cute. For me, you asking for half of my Cosmic Brownie is like a relationship ender.
Yeah. I don't even realize I'm eating a Cosmic Brownie until the first one's gone.
Right? That's like a bite. It's a whole bite. I can fit that whole portion in my mouth.
And then I'm like, okay, oh, that was good. Thank goodness I have a second one. But it's not, they're tiny. No, we do not. Little Debbie can encourage sharing. We do not encourage sharing. No, not at all. Nope, no, not at all.
If you're doing like the cakes that come in a 2-pack, like the zebra cakes, and you want to split those, I think that's fair because they're 2 entirely separate cakes.
They're hearty on their own.
Right. If you are eating a Cosmic Brownie, that is all for you.
I would completely agree with that. And in fact, I rarely, if ever, want 2 zebra cakes. Rarely, if ever. That's a great one to split. That's a great call out, Sarah. Yeah. Great call out.
You know what else is great to split?
What?
And fancy cakes.
I haven't had a fancy cake. When I come in and visit, you're going to have to fancy cake me. So
I'm gonna have to find them. They're a tough one. I'm assuming they're sold in 2-packs. I can't remember, but yeah.
Those will be like the zebra cakes. I feel the same way though about like the unicorn cakes or those are the skinny little ones that are kind of like I need 2 of those to really even fulfill what we're doing.
Yeah.
But if a fancy cake's like that, I mean, I'm excited to try it. I'm going to eat the fancy cake while we're recording when we're able. That's our white whale is the fancy cake.
It is. We got to find it.
We will. We'll find it.
Yeah.
Well, keeping with our out of space theme, I'm so excited to chat today about Attack on Titan, the anime. So we are going to tee it up and then head to break to get in a little bit. But this is Sarah's pick she is the familiar. I am the 4-in-1 to this. I have watched the first season of Attack on Titan and actually a couple seasons more. But for today's focus, we're going to start on the first season, full spoilers. So Sarah, in your own words, explain, what is Attack on Titan?
Attack on Titan it's an anime, first of all. I'll make that very clear because people have strong opinions about anime. But it is about a group of civilization. As far as we know, it's all civilization that lives in this walled city because there are these huge humanoid creatures called Titans that eat people. And so the walls keep them out. In the first episode of the show, the Titans kind of break down the wall and start infiltrating the city. So it's all about these three main kids trying to fight the Titans and protect humanity and figure everything out. There's a lot of mystery to it.
If you are interested in watching, it's Hulu is where you can get it. I think it's easy to watch. And not that it's easy to watch in the sense of the subject matter. It's actually pretty dark. And I think that that's, for me, what's very interesting is it's really my first exposure to anime. And it takes a while because there is a lot of dark themes. There's a lot of different things that are going on. Why did you recommend Attack on Titan and or think that I would check it out? Because I know there was a conversation here between you and Cousin Husband, and you really advocated that I should watch this.
When we were talking about that, my husband and I love anime. And so we were hoping to get Sam on board and talking about potential anime that we could introduce her to. He was leaning more towards the what would be called slice of life anime. So that's more like the rom-coms, just the typical high school teenagers, you know, very just everyday life kind of stuff.
He thinks I'm basic is what I'm hearing, but that's okay. That's okay.
Some of the ones he was recommending, I agreed with because they're really good. But I knew that Sam also likes the Skulls. I knew that you liked the Final Destination movies like Jurassic Park, a lot of action stuff. And so I recommended Attack on Titan, which is very action packed. And you still get a little bit of that slice of life because it is very character heavy. There are these characters living in this post-apocalyptic world where, you know, they're trying to figure out how they fit into this world where they could literally be eaten alive at any minute. Sam came to visit and we started out with the first few episodes of Attack on Titan, and it turned into an afternoon and then an evening and then another day. And yeah, that's kind of how it happened.
I would say with Attack on Titan, going over to Japan, planning to do that, I feel like you have to at least be somewhat familiar with anime. And I have not been watching wrestling as much as I used to. And so I have a void on certain things. And trust me, Sarah, we will get to a point. I'm trying to figure out how to introduce you to and how we would even go about the foreign and familiar wrestling episode. It will happen at the right time.
Right.
But there's so many things. I'm just trying to figure out how to do that. So you have a reprieve for this season. But
good.
But wanting to go over there and just a little bit for people that may not be aware of Attack on Titan. Attack on Titan is one of the most popular, if not the most popular animes that has ever existed. It is a cultural phenomenon over in Japan. They say by September of 2022, the manga, which is the source material, which is the comic book in which the anime is made from, had more than 110 million copies in circulation. 110 million copies of Attack on Titan is coming through. So the television show is a adaptation of the comics. I have not read the comics, but I do believe that it is a pretty accurate, would you say, Sarah, shot for shot remake?
Yes, very much so.
So my understanding is that right now there are 4 seasons that first debuted. I think the first season was all the way back in 2013. And it's almost done. There's going to be 2 one-hour specials. And I think the final one is due this fall, right around the corner.
Yeah.
And then it'll be done. But you already know the end because have you read the manga?
Yes.
The manga?
The manga. Yeah.
Okay. The manga. So it is incredibly popular. I have been told by Cousin Husband and yourself a couple different times that this is top of the bar anime. And that other anime, while it will be good, may fall short.
Right.
Of the expectation. So
not only good anime, but just good television. Yeah. So I pulled up the top 10 episodes of TV according to IMDb, and 2 episodes of Attack on Titan are in the top 10 listing. So I'll just name the shows. I'm not going to get into details about the episodes, but number 1, Breaking Bad. Number 2 is 6 Feet Under. Number 3 is Attack on Titan. Number 4 is an episode of BoJack Horseman. Number 5 is another anime, Vinland Saga, which I just watched the first season of, and it was really good. I don't know if I would rank it like top 10, but number 6 is Avatar: The Last Airbender. Number 7 is Better Call Saul. Number 8 is another anime called Code Geass or Code Geass. People argue about the pronunciation. Number 9 is Attack on Titan, and number 10 is another Breaking Bad. So it's the top 10, according to IMDb, the top 10 episodes of television, not just anime. So I feel like that shows you the quality of the show.
I'm so excited to dig in and share what my experience was. Again, having never watched anime before, never knowing anything about all this. It's so new. So I'm excited to share my thoughts when we come back after the break.
This is the Foreign and Familiar podcast. Today we are reviewing not really reviewing, but talking about season 1 of Attack on Titan, which I am familiar with and Sam watched for the first time. Sam, did you know that Eren Yeager's mom was eaten by a Titan?
I had no idea.
Really?
Oh, no. And let's say that my eyeballs were closed when that happens.
Oh, of course.
In the very first episode. So no spoilers, it's literally in the first episode.
Right.
They will remind you, if I took a shot for every single time that they flash back to Eren's mother being eaten, I would no longer be here on this planet. It is definitely, it's like, we get it. We get it. It's his trauma. We get it. It is horrifying. I mean, in all fairness, it is horrifying.
It is.
But they go to that well quite a bit.
They
quite
do.
A bit. Yeah. Mm-hmm. To the point where we were just laughing because I was like, oh, great, because I forgot. It's been 17 seconds since I saw that his mom was eaten.
Right.
Thank you for the reminder. I'm like a goldfish over here. And you don't constantly tell me that there's, someone's mom was being eaten, then I'm going to forget his motivations if it's not
right
put in front of me. So
I mean, how dare you?
Yeah.
Let's just do like a quick summary of the first episode just to kind of give people an idea of how it starts. So as we described earlier, this is a world where people live within a walled city because outside of the walls, there are giant humanoid creatures called Titans that eat them. So in the first episode, that is all established. The Titans kind of bust through the wall and start attacking people in the city. The 3 main characters, Eren Yeager, Armin Arlert, and Mikasa Ackerman. I don't know how I forgot that.
Oh my goodness, she's an Ackerman. Come on.
She's an Ackerman.
That's my lady you're talking about.
I know.
I mean, that's like so. Are you trying to disrespect me? I have no idea.
How dare I? So it's Eren Yeager, Armin Arlert, and Mikasa Ackerman are the 3 main characters. The Titans attack. Eren's house is destroyed. His mom is eaten, which, as we said, you will not forget. And so everyone is rushed further into the walled city. The 3 main characters join the Scout Regiment, which is kind of this like military group that goes out and tries to reclaim parts of the land that have been taken over by Titans by killing them. So that's essentially the first episode.
It's the first season, let's say. It's following these 3 as they deal with the fallout and the trauma, and they train to figure out how can we do we even have a chance as humans against these Titans, and what does it mean? So
right
training and battles and all that.
Yeah. So obviously, as we're talking, there are going to be spoilers for the first season, so be mindful of that if you are planning to watch.
Our 2 family listeners need to brace their butts for spoilers.
Yes, please be alert to family listeners. But I would say, though, that the spoilers aren't going to ruin a ton. I don't think so.
If you are listening to this podcast, number 1, God bless you. And number 2, listen to it after you're done
Right,
watching
right.
season 1 of Attack on Titan. I will say, just to make it clear, which is, Sarah said this before, and it's something as a first time anime watcher that I just was not aware of. I mean, it is dark and it is graphic,
Mm-hmm.
and it is war, it's all of these things that are happening. And I think that I just have never really given transparently anime the time of day or the credit, because I figure that it is cartoons, and what really happens in, cartoons, and how can it be? And I didn't understand the medium's ability to convey gravity at this level. And so it was a very interesting viewing experience to be so connected to characters, to be so invested in what's going on, to be so horrified about the things that you're seeing.
Mm-hmm.
And they're all cartoons. What I'm learning is that anime is such a unique format to have all these things expressed.
Right. And I feel like Attack on Titan is a great example of quality animation, because the animation really is top tier. There are some other animes that, I mean, like, compare it to Sailor Moon, right? Like, it's night and day difference. Or like Pokemon, the animation is impressive, but like, it's next level with Attack on Titan. Like, there's a bell that we're convinced is just a real bell.
It is a real bell.
It is a real bell.
Cut in, and it is a real bell. I
Yes.
rewatched it. It is a real bell.
Yeah. So
husband thinks we're crazy, but it's true. It's true.
We have a group chat, and every once in a while a text will come through that says the bell's real.
The bell is real.
Yes.
Anyway.
And I think with this show in particular, there are things that wouldn't work if it was like live action or anything else. Like, there are some really cool things that they can only do because it's animated.
You spend so much time. I mean, there's a lot of world building, but it moves very fast. It throws you right into the deep end. But even the way that they're moving, the ODM gear that they have, flying through the streets, all of that, I just had no idea how you would ever do that on a live action. And I would say the same. The Titans are gigantic, dumb, naked aliens that look like humans, but they don't have any. It's like kind of like Westworld in the sense where after a while, did you ever watch Westworld?
I think I've seen like one episode, but I know enough of like the concept.
The nudity in Westworld, and maybe I'm speaking, but it just becomes part of it because they're bots, and I'm not saying it's not there. And obviously, I'm a woman talking about Westworld, but I think, there's nothing sexual about it.
Right.
It's just they're aliens in the form that they take.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And they're terrifying.
They're terrifying.
Yeah. I have had nightmares about some of them. The way that they're drawn, because they all like have some kind of like smile too. They're these giant humanoid creatures that are always smiling, and then they just grab people and eat them.
It's mindless. It's there's like nothing. There's no bartering. There's no arguing. You don't know where they came from. So the stakes are high immediately.
So let's talk first the three main characters, Eren, Armin, and Mikasa. I know you have strong thoughts about some of them.
I've never had a strong thought in my life. I don't know what you're talking about. I've never had a strong thought in my life. Yeah.
So let's start with Armin in season 1.
Armin's awesome.
He is awesome.
Armin is a strategist.
Mm-hmm.
He has a great mind for war.
He does.
He is a loyal friend.
Mm-hmm.
And he is somebody that really thrives in a group environment. And it is fun to watch his confidence grow over the seasons. And I think that he is the heart and the moral compass of the three.
I think so too. I think early on he really depends on his friends, but I feel like as he grows, there are more and more people that depend on him.
He needs that encouragement, or he needs that confidence. But
Right.
I think what's very interesting about Armin specifically is you see the growth in his reaction from the first battle to a battle halfway through the season to a battle the third way through the season.
Mm-hmm.
He is able to course correct and adjust where he needs to.
Right.
And you never once question at all where his loyalties lie. I think he's really a very noble character. And I think that he is awesome. I like Armin.
Yeah. I mean, I think only character flaw is his hair.
That doesn't bother me. You know, that's so all the barbers were eaten in the,
Yeah, it's like a step up from like a bowl cut, but it's fine.
Low-key savage as well.
True. He is.
Some of the things he says when he's trying to get under, like his go-to is, oh, I'm gonna say something that's really gonna bother you. Like he can read people, and that's what makes him so valuable.
Right. He can manipulate them to do whatever he needs them to do. Yeah.
Or like manipulate the enemy into making a mistake, is the way I would say. I don't think that he uses that power on any of his friends, but
right. No, it's not out of selfish gain or anything. But yeah, if it's a battle of wits, he's very good at manipulating the enemy, like you said, to mess up somehow.
Right.
Or fall into his trap. Okay, what about Mikasa? Mikasa Ackerman, Sam's future tattoo.
I actually am looking. I think she is so badass. I am looking to get something. I have to finish the series to make sure she doesn't go all to Daenerys Targaryen. But yes, I have thought about a Mikasa tattoo. It's so nice. And again, I'm not watching, other anime, but sometimes you see other anime drawings or the women or whatever. She is like cream of the crop. I'm obsessed with her. I have a keychain of her. I'm thinking about a tattoo. Like we're going to do, I know it's so crazy. I'm not going to get an Attack on Titan tattoo, but I ultimately am not going to, but I have thought about it. That's how much I like her. She's the best fighter, hands down. Mm-hmm. That's lore. That is canon in the show. She is the best fighter. She carries everybody else on her back, which we have not gotten to Eren yet because I had just
saving that for last.
But she's awesome. She's level-headed. She's loyal. She keeps her promises. And then she's just so good at what she does. Like everybody runs. Like it's in that first episode where the bullies are picking on Eren.
Well, they're picking on Armin.
Okay.
And so I feel, this scene I feel like is very telling for the rest of the show. So there's bullies that are picking on Armin. Eren tries to run in and fight and gets just kind of equally beat up. Mikasa turns a corner and all of the bullies just like sprint away.
They're like, oh my gosh, she's with him, and they go running. I love her. I'm obsessed with her. She can do no wrong.
Right. Like Armin.
She can do wrong, but it's really just in her taste in men.
Right.
But and that's what's so painful. It's not, but I mean, it's just these strong female characters that it's like, man, you're so awesome,
Yeah.
And he's such a 2. He's a 2.
He's very, So I would say, like Armin, Mikasa is very loyal as well. But I mean, there's no slow build up to her. Like out the gate, she is by far the best of the best at what she does.
10,000%. And she's not emotional. She's not, I mean, she's a warrior, and again, she's a strong female character, and they decided not to give her, size 40 jugs, which is really nice, or super revealing clothing or anything like that. She's just dope. She's cooler than Katniss. I like Katniss. I think Katniss is going to come up a couple times, depending. She's cooler than Katniss. Katniss is like at the top for me, though.
So that's impressive that Mikasa is like giving Katniss a run for her money.
I have no Katniss merch, and I have Mikasa merch. So,
right.
And this has all been since I've started watching the show. And I'm like, just give me every and all things Mikasa.
Right.
I'm obsessed.
All right, so saving the worst for last, Aaron Yeager, the main character.
Aaron Yeager is the reason why I am single by choice. Um, he is hands down insufferable. He's insufferable, especially in season one. So, granted, he does watch his mother get eaten, but the entire world goes up. He is just a hothead. He's yelling all the time, but most importantly, his butt cannot cash any check that his mouth writes. Okay.
Yep.
At all, at all. And you know who cashes those checks is Mikasa. Okay.
Mm-hmm.
She comes in all the time, and they're scared of her. They go running away from the first episode in the first season. And he's like, yeah, you're scared of me. I mean, there's no awareness. He yells at everyone all the time. He yells at his mother. The way he talks to his mom in the first episode, and then she gets eaten. And my response, I think I said out loud when we were watching it together, my response was, really? Are you even sad? Because all you've done for the last 25 minutes is bitch at your mom.
Yeah.
Bitch at your mom. He bitches at Mikasa. Mikasa will save his life. And he will look at her after he is dead to rights, okay? And say, I didn't need your help. You know, and it's just like, what planet are we watching the same show? Are you, the lack of awareness is unbelievable. And I will say what gives me life about it is he just is bitching and yelling and yelling. And at one point in the first couple episodes, I like say to the TV, will somebody punch him in the face? And guess who does? Mikasa punches him in the face. And she says, you need to shut up. You do not have it the worst here. I think I levitated off the couch when I saw that. And that is the reason why I love her in general. I mean, you know, how old are they supposed to be in this? I guess in this first season.
So, well, in the first episode, they're 9. Like when the wall is destroyed and Aaron's mom is eaten, they're 9. And then I think they're like 14-ish whenever they join the military.
Okay, so if he's 9, okay. But no, he's got he's on bad behavior the whole season.
He is.
And I would say with him, and of course she loves him. And I know that they explain that. And she refuses. I mean, she's like his bodyguard, and nothing's going to happen to him because she loves him. And yeah, I will say though, in his defense, post these seasons, they do a really nice job. That's a spoiler, I guess, but I think they do a really nice job with Aaron's character, because there are some moments in some of these top 10 episodes. I will say that it's hard for me. Like season 1, Aaron, the worst.
Yeah, I agree. I would say his like positive qualities about his character is that he's very optimistic, he's very determined, and he does have some crazy ability to inspire other people.
But his optimism is not based in reality. And I think that you can be optimistic, but he literally will be like, let me take this group of 5 people out here and we're going to kick this Titan's butt. And it's like, you can't even stand on the ODM gear.
Yeah. And I would say that his positive qualities are hard to see in season 1 because he is so insufferable. There are moments where I think, are you sure he's the main character? Like, is this he feels very much like the annoying side character that you're just like, ew, get him away. But he does have some positive qualities.
He does, because you see the growth in him. I don't think, and I am again at the beginning of season 4, do I think that he's a man worthy of Mikasa? No. Do I think he could be? Sure. Which is a really big thing for me to say. So,
yeah.
But I have to watch the last parts of it to say that. you saying he is 9 in the first episode does have me with a little bit of a step back on that because he's 9 years old. So different story. But yeah.
Yeah, I don't know.
Although Armin's not like that at 9 and Mikasa's not like that at 9. So, people are who they are at a young age.
Right, right. Yeah, definitely. Okay, so let's talk about side characters. Best and worst side character that we're introduced to in season 1. Once they join the Scout Regiment, we're then introduced to a lot of other teenagers that are also training to become scouts along with them. So, like halfway through season 1, there is a lot of new characters. There are a lot of new characters that we meet. So, best side character.
Hands down, Captain Levi can get it. He is awesome. He is awesome. I want him and Mikasa together. He is absolutely worth her. They're both Ackermans, so she wouldn't even have to argue about changing her last name. He is a short king. I will say that. He is a short king that loves a cup of tea. And I appreciate that. I appreciate the softer side to him. He has so much honor. He has so much honor. He's such a badass. He never asks his group or his scouts to do anything that he's not going to do. He is on the front lines. He is, I'm going with you. If people are dying, he's holding their hand while they're dying. He's telling them that their sacrifice was not for nothing. He feels it. He unwinds with a cup of tea. I mean, he is hands down, he's a great. If I could meet a Captain Levi, I'd be all over it. I would love that.
I mean, this kind of comes into play in later seasons, but he also really values cleanliness as well. I think that's a great quality.
There are yes, he's always talking about things being clean. Yes, cleanliness is next to godliness, Yeah. He's running the military. That's so funny. And he sits with his legs crossed like that. I mean, you know what I'm saying? He's dainty. He's dainty, but he's also kind of the best fighter too. Mikasa's a great fighter. But between the two of them, it's the enemies have to count for both of them, because if we don't account for both of them on the field, one of them's going to come get us.
Right.
So, hands down, Captain Levi is the best. I have a crush on him, and I understand he is an anime character, but I get it, and I'm into him for sure. Yeah.
I looked up his height. He's 5'3", which is what I am.
A short king. I'm here for it. I am here for it.
All right. Well, I mean, I would say Levi's my favorite character as well, but just to kind of add some other things in the mix, since that was your pick, I'm going to pick Jean as my favorite side character. I think in season 1, he's kind of just Aaron's competition. He also wants to be the leader. He also wants Mikasa.
Does Aaron want Mikasa in the first season, though? That's the thing.
I don't think he does, but
he has an interest in Mikasa, yeah.
Yeah, and he knows that Mikasa only has an interest in Aaron, thereby making Aaron his competition. But without any spoilers for like later seasons, I feel like Jean's character gets so much growth that like the first time I watched it, like before the newer episodes were out and before like the manga was finished, I thought he was just as annoying as Aaron. But as I continued to read and watch, he quickly rose up my list of characters.
I am indifferent on him.
Right.
I know that you feel passionately about him. I am waiting to watch the rest of it. So I believe I have seen some of that growth for sure. I have definitely seen some of that growth. That's the thing, is there are just so many really rich characters.
Right. It is hard to pick.
Yeah, it is hard to pick. Attack on Titan does a very interesting thing where they really flush out all the characters. And so what they will do, and I think it does make sense because they're really translating the comic book into the show. So it is absolutely feasible that there could be a 4, 6, 8, 12 issue comic book arc that focuses on like a side adventure with the characters. And so it does do a good job of making you invest and care about all the different characters.
Okay, least favorite. Other than Aaron.
Ymir and Krista are my least favorite characters.
Mm-hmm.
And they are my least favorite characters in the first season. And it's hard for me to really invest in them moving forward. Those are two women that are in the military and actually play a really, really big role in the seasons as it's going forward. I just think at some point there were so many characters. They do play a really big role. I don't know if that's at the end of season 1 or season 2. It's kind of one of those arcs. And I would have sidestepped all that personally. Like, that's the thing. I enjoy Attack on Titan, but it certainly is not a perfect show. And yeah, so I would say the two of them just because I don't really, and I would say in season 1, quite frankly, I didn't really think I had to pay attention to them too much. So when they were on my screen, I was just kind of like, I want to get back to Mikasa or Levi. I'll take either one, dealer's choice, put them on my screen. And if not them, Armin and Erwin. So I think on a rewatch, I may feel differently because I know that they're so important moving forward. But yeah, spoiler alert.
Yeah. So I think my first time watching, my least favorite character, it's so stupid, is Aaron's dad, who we see for all of 30 seconds, I think. And like,
so good at that. Yeah, that's a great one.
The reason is because of his one line, which is, Aaron, if you're good when I come back, I'll show you what I've been working on in the basement, which is a really creepy thing to say.
Even if he's your dad, I would agree.
And it's his haircut, it's his mustache. Yeah. Like, he just looks like a slimy guy.
It's his name too, Grisha.
His name is Grisha Yeager. And he's there for like 30 seconds. He leaves with that great line. And I don't think that we see him again for season 1. He might pop back for like 10 seconds, but
yeah, I think there's a flashback. And
yeah.
Spoiler alert, without really getting too into it, you find out that Aaron is the way he is because it's genealogical, and his dad also clearly has the male toxicity issues that he has passed down in the genes.
Right. He comes
Aaron
by
Yeager.
it honestly.
Yeah. he's like, I would also say let's put it an honorable nomination for the Titan that ate Aaron's mom, because I just see that Titan more than anything in the world. And it's just too much screen time. It's too much screen time. I get it. It doesn't matter. So
yeah.
One thing that I do want to mention about Attack on Titan is just how stellar the opening credits are. And the opening theme, every 12 episodes, 15 episodes or so, they completely change the opening credits and the theme. And so it's like really fresh. It's like it correlates with what's going on. I despise the opening credits in season 3 for the first half of it, just because the season 1 opening credits are a banger. Like
they set the bar so high, and it is really hard to meet it after that.
It starts, the Titan peers over the wall in the first minute of the show, and then it cuts to the credits, and it is a high octane theme song. We have 0 rights for our 2 listeners, but maybe we can play some of it. I don't know.
We can at least link it. We can
link it. And the opening credits are amazing.
For those who have, for our 2 listeners that may not have watched anime before, opening and closing credits are almost music videos. They might not show you something important about the show, but it's usually some sort of like animated video that either matches the song or just kind of covers the general theme of the show. So it's not just it's names popping up with pictures in the background. It's like a full music video.
I think the art of the anime is, or of the opening is, you don't realize what you're looking at until you've already seen it happen.
Yeah, I think so. And to kind of tie into that, I just feel like the music for the show in general is fantastic. I'll just put on the soundtrack if I'm cleaning, or a lot of times like at work during my like planning time, I'll just throw on like a 45-minute like Attack on Titan soundtrack and power through grading or whatever planning I need to do. It's a great soundtrack to get some work done because it's heavy, it's inspiring. It's my go-to. I
listened to it when I was walking around Osaka when you guys
That's
were
right.
out, and it was just, yeah, I mean, it hits, as the kids say, it slaps, so that's a good part of it. Yeah.
Do you want to do like a quick 30-second wrap up of your thoughts on maybe the show so far without giving spoilers? Because we just talked about season 1, but you have watched a lot farther. So
I would say that I absolutely recommend Attack on Titan. It's awesome from the jump. It goes the whole way through. I've seen the episodes that are listed on the IMDb 10 best, and they were so powerful. They were emotional. It's really worth it. Attack on Titan starts from the beginning and it builds the world very, very quickly. They have the perfect art of the cliffhanger where you can kind of get into the next one. 30-minute episodes, 40-minute episodes, let's say, and you get drawn into it very quickly. I would just totally recommend it. I was super surprised. And I will say, I actually have recommended it. My sister-in-law came out to visit. And I said, I'm watching anime. It was the perfect gateway because I'm watching other anime that's a little bit lighter and more, better. Not better, but like Attack on Titan, I can watch 3 in a row. That's it.
Right. It's heavy.
It's heavy. You got to pay attention. So I can watch 3. But my sissy in love just texted me, not that long ago and said, thank you so much for introducing me to Attack on Titan. This is so good. And then she wanted to text you and cousin husband to say thank you for introducing it to Samantha, who has introduced it to me, because it was a surprise. So my 30-second review is it's great. It's worth it. The characters are great. Just go for it. If you can.
So if you were to compare it to a Little Debbie, since we talked about Cosmic Brownies from the jump, what Little Debbie is Attack on Titan?
I would go with the double-decker fudge round.
Wow.
Which is a very, very high praise.
That is.
Because the double-decker fudge round is awesome. It's massive. It's delectable. You really enjoy it. I can't eat a double-decker fudge round every single day.
Right.
I really can't eat a double-decker fudge round every single week. I think we first started watching this, or I started watching the first season in March. It is 6 months later, let's call it. And I'm at the beginning of season 4 and I have to go back and kind of rewatch some parts to make sure. So it is something to be savored every once in a while and slowly, although I'm sure some people would just kind of power through it. But I would say high praise, a double-decker fudge round.
That is high praise.
Yeah.
I am surprised. I would say, I'm going to say it's a Christmas tree brownie for me.
Wow, that's high praise for you.
It is also high praise. And here's my thought, because initially I was going to say Cosmic Brownie, but like I have a set of shows that are just kind of like in rotation that I'll just, every once in a while, I just want to binge the whole thing again. So like Attack on Titan is one for me. What We Do in the Shadows is another one that every couple of months I just throw on and power through. Like Stranger Things in the fall, I always rewatch that. So I feel all of those shows for me that I just every once in a while need to rewatch are the seasonal brownies, because I always love brownies. It's just a matter of which one's in season.
This is a great one. This is why, honestly, I think this is the impetus of why we started this podcast.
Yeah.
Because we watched, because there's just so much to talk about. And then we just started switching things and recommending things. This was really great. It makes me to even revisit it. Well, Sara, I'm going to go probably boot up the rest of Attack on Titan or try to get in there and just kind of get my Mikasa and Levi where I can get them. I know now on a rewatch where to fast forward Aaron. So that's good to know.
You've got it all figured out. I love it.
Listen, nothing's going to stop me now, not even the armored Titan. So anyway, thanks so much, guys, for listening. We will be back next week with our next episode. Till then.
Bye.
Thanks for eavesdropping on us.
If you can't get enough of the Cousin Chronicles, head over to Instagram and follow @FauxFamPod for more in-depth info and behind-the-scenes details.
Or email us at foreignfamiliarpod@gmail.com.
Foreign and Familiar is a Flynn and Flynn production.
The theme is Colorful by Allerlie von Nicolai.